Hey guys, welcome back to Banish the Corrupt. I'm Steven. I'm standing here in Burnsville, North Carolina right now, where it's just complete destruction all around. You're going to see in the video today a lot of that. Please have an understanding that there will be no physical person seen in this that's harmed or anything in that way. I would never show that. My heart just honestly is broken for these people, and all the help that we can get towards this area and other areas like this one would mean the world to me, and I know them. I've been bringing donations now. This is the 6th trip I've made in the area. I've met Shy from TikTok and others that have just donated their time in trying to help other people, getting supplies to them in the most critical areas and the most in need. You're going to see a lot of things said about the donations, and that being said, one of them is primarily with, they are receiving too many now. Well, you got to think 8 to 9 days later, absolutely. They've probably got a stockpile, but in 2-3 weeks' time, food and water will perish. And yet the destruction is still going to be standing here right behind me. This is going to be years in the making to clean all this up. So I hope y'all hang tight. Like I said, please understand it's not to glorify any of the destruction, but to show you what these people have been going through. So this is an area over here right in the dead center part of Burnsville where the bridge went out, and you can actually see the complete just destruction of everything. It is wild how bad it is over in this area. So as I pull in right here, this is a little area that's a little bit to the east side of Burnsville. And it's a really big area hit with just, debris, trees, cars, everything. Anything you could think of is in this area. Full-on devastation to the max. And I just wanted to be able to show you all this real quick and just show you what it looks like. Because Burnsville was another very hard-hit area, and if you take a look around, you can kind of see everything. The bridge is right there. It's where the water runs. And if you look off to this direction, you'll see a house over here that was washed off into the part of the river, man. And what we understand over here in Burnsville, this was another high critical area needing supplies, donations. Things like, simple water, man, because of the contamination levels, diapers, formula, camping supplies, which is a lot of the things that we've been bringing off into here. Now that we have caught everything up, it's 8 to 9 days later, they were bringing in trailer loads, and here it is, day 10, 11, and most donation places have everything they need. So they're kind of telling us, hey, hang back with a lot of stuff. Most of the stuff we need now is propane, gas heaters. But let's take you up in the drone and let's show you what it kind of looks like overall in this area. So up in the drone we're going again, and absolutely just another area of Burnsville, closer into the city center this time, I think within a half a mile. And right here is where there was several people found, and I'm not going to get into the detail on that because in all honesty, it's just not even worth it, guys. To see this destruction on this level, to see what I seen, smell what I smelled, it's just heartbreaking. You can see right here where a fire started, obviously, and they had to come put it out. Again, there's a lot of destruction in the wake of this. It caught things on fire. It displaced homes completely where there was gas running. So imagine the gas shutoffs they have to do. Right here, you could tell it used to be a little road, and it's completely gone. There's a trailer flipped over there right there to your bottom left. And again, you can't just look at this on the video and understand and perceive this to be, it's just general destruction, kind of like a tornado. No, this is literally equivalent to a bomb, and what you would think in terms of a bomb, right? And when you're looking at all this, I'm zooming down right now to show you, there is a bridge right here, and what it is a pass-through for water, right? And you can't see it. Now, mind you, all this debris collected right here. Why? Because kind of like the draining a sink method, if you think about it. This water was so high, it's pushing up underneath this underpass, and everything's kind of just going down in like a little swirl, almost like a whirlpool. And then to see it move
something such as a grain silo. And that's not just some grain silo. That is the very old ones made out of steel. So very heavy. I mean, essentially a bobber when this water was up really high. And as I'm panning right here, what you're seeing is a storage unit of some sort with a factory in front of it. And it looks whole. But when we go to the right here, you can see how the back roof down here is caved in. And again, mud that was every bit of 3 to 4 feet. And right here, there's the church. And just, it's a lot to take in, guys. Look at the beautiful scenery. So as you see, here we go, taking off once more. I love to fly, you know what I mean? I wish I could actually fly. There is a guy from here, though, Mark. I think it's like Honeycut or something like that. He has a YouTube channel. Shout out to him. He goes into Chimney Rock. He interviews several people. He does the paragliding thing, and that's something I absolutely want to try once in my life. But this is a more up-close look at a video that you had got to see a little bit earlier in the show. I just wanted y'all to see an up-closer version of what the area by the dump looks like. Of course, you can just see where that water said, you know what, I'm making my own path, and just came through here like a force to be reckoned with. I mean, you can see where the building pretty much has dirt, logs, everything around it. They had to rework this whole area for the last, I think, about a week and a half, moving all the logs, because this man makes his money from these logs. And unfortunately, they had to find them all down the ridge, and there was several truckloads having to bring these logs back to this company right here. And I thought that was just the fact that they had to go fishing for their stuff, man. And like many of these people, they're something I can say, these communities are a lot different than back home. They are built different. They're Appalachian people. It's the thing I can say, and you'll hear me say this probably a lot within videos, is the TikTok community knows these people don't care about flashy cars, big houses. It's about community support and love for one another. And again, you can see this. It's evident by looking around. I mean, as soon as something happens, you see right here with this concrete truck, immediately going into fixing things. And there was no sitting. And I think a lot of people got upset about, how the government was coming in. I think there's rules to that and the money value, and it has to be kept up with. Again, most people don't understand. And so as a community, we were able to bring in donations and stuff. And now the government's absolutely, keeping stockpiles and getting it to where it needs to go. So check this out back here. This is something I thought y'all would find interesting. Obviously the road going back here got completely washed out, and they're having to retract the road. And you can see, and I'll zoom in here in a second for y'all to see how bad it got back to this area and how much force that would go with it, right? To wash out and carve out, take out all these storage units. There used to be another set of storage units right here. They are now somewhere down the river. So what they were doing, I got told by somebody in the community, they were actually pulling the gravel and rock to kind of mound this back up from the creek. And you can see that whole entire road gone right there. There was a house there, and I think there was 2 or 3 houses right yonder, right off the side. And how it didn't get back on further to the right side of this, it just amazed me of how the water took its own direction and just made its way. And then if the elevation was just slightly a little bit different, it would take a different path. And again, morally, just me highlighting that how hard this water was coming through. So I'm going to take you on up in the drone again, kind of show you another overview. And I know I've done this several times. I know you're like, Steven, why do you keep stopping and going with the drone, man? These towns, there's just so many of them. And again, Burnsville, I think, is a town that just doesn't get talked about. I mean, you've seen the video where the helicopter blows the dust everywhere and kind of pees everybody off, right? But this is a very good view of how the water came from its small little creek and just expanded. And I mean, the force behind it was, I mean, just unreal. And you think, like, mountains are like they have little gullies, right? And think of it as this: if you used to pile a bunch of dirt up side by side and run water down it, what's it do? It travels into the valley. So it all runs into this creek. And right here, you're seeing at this little house down below right here. This house, thankfully, did not get moved off its foundation, but it's not livable anymore. And so somebody lost their home in this, where the dirt piles up 3.5, 4 feet all the way around it. Now we're going to look back towards like the city center of Burnsville right here, and you can just see the mountains, the rolling hills, and I mean, it's absolutely stunning out here. And it's a crazy idea to me to think that essentially what happened is it's the water effect running off the mountains off into a creek. The creek gets too much, and the force behind it wiped out bridges, wiped out communities. And I mean, the trees, to see the destruction left by this is almost equivalent to what I would think Hiroshima or something like that was, right? And I know that's putting a lot of emphasis on that. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but these towns are forever changed because of something that you grew up thinking wasn't such a big deal, and that's the floods. You know, you think tornado, you think hurricane, you never in your life could think, holy crap, a flash flood's going to do this. And I think it's taught me a valuable lesson in, even being back at home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. It's something we have to absolutely think of. I live next to a big lake called Old Hickory Lake, and there is many times that it's flooded. This right here is a huge debris ball. I will tell you, from what I was understanding, they have not sorted through this. And I'm going to leave that to you to think what you want. Most of these towns have a very foul smell right now, and it's devastating, man, and it's sad. And there's some people that honestly will never be laid to rest properly. And so, again, when you think about these families, just keep them in your prayers, man. They got a long recovery road ahead of them. So like you seen a while ago, we're in the outskirts of Burnsville now, exiting. And on my way home, I wanted to hit Irwin, this area, and Spruce Pine, and just kind of give y'all an overview. And what we're looking at here is back towards the overpass. And what you can clearly see is the force of the water, how it just overtook everything, obliterates everything in its path. And I think a lot of times we don't understand the force water has. Growing up, you would hear tornado warnings, hurricanes, stuff like that, and you would think wind damage. And every time I heard something about a flash floods, it was, to me, it wasn't something to worry about. It was like, they're just talking about water, stay out of the area. But this right here shows you water in its path. If it has a path that it takes, if there's tremendous amounts of rain, it will absolutely take everything in its path. I mean, it's carved out whole mountainsides, took away towns. I mean, it just changed the layout of the geography here in these little towns forever, and just the recovery side of it. But I hope y'all kind of got a good look, throughout the videos, and you've seen everything, and have a better appreciation for these flash floods that come through these areas. And just keep these people in your prayers as they lay their heads down at night. So we're now on the back end of Burnsville on the way out towards Asheville, or going back up towards Johnson City, Tennessee. And you can see right here where they're working on the bridge. And what I'm going to do is show you, because that's where that main creek part runs into, or the river, and how it just literally tore holes out of the bridge, everything. I mean, when the water was up, you got to remember, when you see this from the air here in a second through the drone, what I want you to take a real good look at is how absolutely high the water got. And when it did get that high, think about the force behind it with all the debris traveling with it. I mean, it was just wreaking havoc and anything in its path. So this is up here on the actual Sky Mountain outlook up in the Blue Ridge Parkway. And to me, or Blue Ridge Mountains is what we would call it, because obviously I'm not from North Carolina, and I will tongue twist a lot. But on up here, there's an outlook, right? Like an onlook, or what they call it. And this is one of the craziest things I had seen through here. But it's not just this area. In multiple mountains coming through here and traversing through these mountains, the roads had just gave way and slid down the mountains. Right here, you can tell that they're actively working fast. I mean, truckloads of rock bringing in to try to stabilize the hillside. And they're going to have to rebuild the road right there. They even cut into the side of the hill just to reroute. And what we're looking at right here is, again, look, a washout to your right there, where it hadn't caved out yet, but it's going to. It absolutely will. And that's what you see. See this little part right here, the brown? That's what I'm highlighting. And now we're going to look back at the Sky Ridge. And this is a place where you can come up and see and just kind of overlook the whole mountain and cities below. And I think it's just a beautiful place. And see, those Appalachian people, you know, it's something. I thought that my community, and I thought as people we were all alike in a way, right? And truth of the matter is we're not. These people are built different, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's what I've learned about Appalachians and the people in the mountains is they have that core value about themselves where they're selfless. They don't think about themselves. They think about others. And, you know, when something happens, and if it's your neighbor, you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to drop everything I have to, and I'm going to help you. And, again, it has taught me a lot. And as we're going through here and I'm wrapping everything up with, you know, being in Spruce Pine, you know, I talked to several people over here. And I wish I would have done some interviews on camera, but I did not want to invade these people's privacy. I did not, man. I think they've been through a lot, probably done tons of interviews. I can only imagine, you know, how many media people have traveled through these little communities, and I just didn't want to be another one of those people. What I wanted to show y'all was exactly what it was, what it done and what's left. And I think these are just good overall shots showing y'all, hey, here's Spruce Pine, and, you know, kind of where they're at now. I mean, it is just catastrophic through here. Kind of show y'all the overview. And what was impressive about this little community right here is, man, they didn't let it stop them. Everybody has heard of Spruce Pine. I mean, it's been all over the news. People have talked about this one a lot. And there's for good reason, man. This is an area, when I talked to somebody, they told me that the dirt here, the mud, was 3.5 to 3 feet deep all across, and they've been moving it. And you see a little bit with the GoPro, man. I'm taking you down the creek right now, which runs city center, man. And everything's kind of built off these little communities. So how the mountain towns work, and how I kind of got an understanding is there's usually an attraction there. Every one of these little mountain towns have some kind of specialty or something about them that's just unique. And it really is. And I'm taking you up right here, and we're looking back towards the city center, right? And you can see how it's just nestled into the center of these mountains. And there's true beauty in this. And even with the destruction and stuff, you know, again, you get to see communities pull together. And I think it's something that I think it taught me a lot. It taught me that, you know, hey, sometimes we let the money and, you know, the material things in life get to us. And there is a lot of times you have to step back and be like, you know what? I need to realign myself. It's not about that. It's about community, family, friends, love, and just being there for one another, especially in a time of need. And again, it's not just anything to highlight, more particularly just showing y'all the whole town. You can see just the water carve-outs and how high it got. And, I mean, these places are absolutely going to be working on stuff for, I mean, I think 2+ years. When they're having to be, like, rebuild the railroad tracks right here. This is what got me. If you think about a rail cart, right, they ain't light. And so they got to make sure that it stays stable. And again, we've got rain coming in. Everybody knows, unfortunately, I think we're going to have a kind of warm winter, given the weather forecast. And it kind of worries me for these communities, especially with the mountains. From what I understand, they'll get snowy, a lot of water run down, a lot of water runoff. So what do you think may happen? And that's the only thing I kept thinking about right here is like, man, this town, they don't need no more water. And check this out. Y'all see the bend right here? When it goes past up here, you don't get a real good view of it. I think I zoom in just a little bit, trying to fly in to show y'all that it went around this curve and it literally stopped. So it was washing out. So apparently this creek comes back a little bit. You see that right curve up there? Just in the middle of the screen was on back. And those trees were actually elevated more. Well, what happened is it washed down and it slanted those trees on down more into the creek bed. And I'm like, what? I'm telling you, the things I've seen here is just, it's remarkable that the people are absolutely all for rebuilding and just being like, you're not going to hold us back. And I think that's impressive, and it says a lot about the Appalachian people.
Oh, that's like shampoo and stuff.
More paper plates and cups. There's a bunch of bags like this. Like I said, like most of the stuff I bought looks like this. See these Clorox bunch? I bought these huge things. That's medical blankets.
They might need some.
You want some medical blankets? So, see, remember like the ones in the hospital? Or like little towels or whatever?
Yeah.
You want these?
No, I don't think we can use them.
All right. She said take them somewhere else. More paper plates.
I'm gonna leave one pack of these here to go.
Let's see.
What's about
Medical supplies. There's a lot in there too. Man, there's more cups than I thought there was. Like all this stuff, you'll see, this is stuff that was donated. It's all at this very foot end was donated stuff. Yeah, more medical. Yeah, these are weird. I don't know what to use them for, but they don't need them here.
Let's see. They got
Feminine.
plenty of that.
You got feminine hygiene stuff, right?
Yeah, they have some of that.
That sounds like pork.
Yeah.
I didn't look, but it definitely.
Some of those somewhere else. I'll
Okay.
pull those somewhere else.
Yeah, there's
Since they
some
got
right there.
some.
I'm gonna get this rope.
Where they're actually feeding people, they must have used that.
That's my rescue rope. I gotta keep that. Sorry, like, dude, driving here just kind of tilted everything, so it's.
I mean, it happens. There's some for it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There you go. You need some cleaning supplies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Set them down just anywhere.
well, that didn't work out good, did it?
Sanitizer. Do you have hand sanitizer?
I got a crap ton of that too.
Yeah,
You
there's
do?
a bunch right here
You
too.
need
Yeah,
it?
we got hand sanitizer.
Okay.
You got hand
Oh, here's some
sanitizer?
peroxide.
You need peroxide?
Yes, they need
Yeah.
peroxide and
Look, you want
alcohol.
Here, just take this.
Anything for women.
Yeah, just take this whole box.
We got it right
Here
there.
at all.
He's barefooted.
Why is he barefooted?
Ooh.
That little kid's got a cut on his foot, been to the hospital, and he's out
What
here
else?
running around the Swiss barefooted.
We need to get. Can we get those clothes out here this afternoon?
See, that's a lot of baby stuff, man.
It is.
I went overkill on baby stuff.
Oh, there's a bee on you.
And it was in baby stuff, right? And I was just there.
My bad. Old Ford's Distillery. Not shouldn't be in this stuff. No.
Christine!
No, it's not. I had to read that.
Oh, you just got me super
Alcohol
excited.
Oh, so because Old Ford
Yeah.
is
I was like, give me that.
It's
It looks like white lightning.
it she said it looks like white lightning.
I was about to say, you know what? We know where we're going when we leave here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you know,
Steven quit teasing us.
he had to quit hanging out with me last night.
Really?
Yeah.
He said, I don't drink. I said, I do.
Yeah.
I'll drink for you.
Yeah, he's like, you just need to go put your stuff up and get it away.
So See, he should come in with that.
It's toys. That goes over there and up there.
Man, you got so many things in here.
Well, I mean, you can tell, dude, I'm telling you, dude, I went to everywhere. I was buying everything.
Wow.
I didn't know what else to do, and I don't really have like a good,
Right.
my wife helped me with all of this. So, see, there's ropes like that. You want to keep those here? So that stuff, Sean,
yeah.
is all in the back
I
corner.
might need this for me. Can I have
Oh my God. Yeah. Sure. There's plenty of ropes. Yeah, just take the rope. She said, that's hilarious, man. So it come and washed every bit of this shit away. How did it not take off with the trailers?
Oh,
I don't understand, man.
I mean, because this from some of the places I saw trailers.
Yeah.
Houses just smashed,
She-
broken into trees.
She said it come all the way up to that.
But how did it not take out the trailer?
I had to rebuild this.
Was this asphalt?
I guess. Damn, look at that rock. That's beautiful though. They got lucky here. But the fact that it only went to there, because it should have wiped it all out.
It would have wiped
Shai said it moved those. Right,
all
Junior?
the storage.
Yeah.
It would have absolutely wiped it out.
That's wild, man.
Close to put it.
let's see. This one's going elsewhere.
Okay,
We
no
got
problem.
some of that.
Well, that bleach is strong. I'll start crying. Good lord. I got too much on my hands.
You can have tote.
I was just saying we could take this on.
You.
There's so much bleach on.
All right, guys. So y'all had seen where we brought the trailer in. You got to see a little bit of a unloading action, us talking. But this is a community that had not gotten any donations, and if they did, there was very little. And so I talked to a friend of mine, Shai, who said, hey, I know an area that kind of needs the supplies, kind of like the camping stuff. Could you absolutely bring it, to this area? And this is one of those areas that she wanted to take it to. And kind of what I'm showing you is just the overview. That bridge right there, completely gone. They had to rebuild it. And what impressed me was, again, you can't tell from here. It's a little bit hills, but the water only washed like 2 or 3 trailers away. And the fact that they made it out good, what hurt them here was the lights and water, not having access to that. I'm going to go up right here, and what you're seeing, I'm just going to show you guys around. This, again, is just a general clip, just showing y'all around, kind of the Blue Ridge area.
That's Irwin. I'm on top of like the overpass for 26. So I'm over 26 right now in Irwin, Tennessee. I don't know if y'all can see that. But I'm gonna swing it over here. That's Irwin right there. Obliterated.
Do I have that last $100 bill? Shit. Can I show me $20? Of course, you got that last $100.
And speaking of the retirement stuff, these people probably raised farm animals, things like that. A lot of farm animals were lost in this. Not only people. It displaced so many. And what we got to remember is in a time of need, like, these people need us. And I hope and pray that each person out there, whether they can help or not, even if it's $1, man, donates to a good cause, good community organization. And again, just looking over everything, wanting to show y'all the full just effect of how fast this water was and how large it was. So just keep this community in your prayers. This is Irwin, Tennessee. God bless. All right, guys, so y'all know I couldn't make it all the way home without stopping in Irwin, Tennessee. Now, what I'm fixing to show you guys, please preface this with just understanding this is destruction on a scale that I had a hard time processing. And I will not lie. I shed a couple of tears because when I seen and looked at the old historical stuff of Erwin, Tennessee, this is a town from the 1800s. I think it's 1837, I believe. And it's just gone. And when you think about the life lost, it really makes you take a step back and say that there is way more important things in life than worrying about this fancy truck or, I need to do this and nah, man, what we need to do is take a deep breath, look what's beside us, who's there for us, and cherish that. It changed the whole geography of this area. It rerouted the water. I zoom in right here on this brush pile because, again, I'm sitting here in awe of the force. When you think of a bomb on the scale of like Hiroshima, something like that, and you see everything laid over, this is the equivalent. You can't make me think different. I truly feel as if they were, nuked by Mother Nature, and it's unrecognizable. Right here is that hospital everybody sees where the 4 or 5 people were standing on top, and you can see the water up almost to the roof. I'm going to zoom in here for you guys and let you see that. It just, again, when you think about that video, and Blake, my videographer, he'll insert the picture of these people standing on the hospital. It's mind-boggling. I can't even put myself in their thought process, to be honest with you. But if you was to get up there on that hospital and water's all around you, you're literally, if you've got some kind of cell service, you're making phone calls to loved ones. Because, in reality, they didn't know. They truly thought this was it. By the way, y'all, there is a video of a bridge you get seen, like you see it get swept away. This is where it was. There's a couple of them, but you will notice the actual surrounding area, and you can pretty much figure out which video that was. And again, the route it takes you to get through these communities. 26 is absolutely shut down. You're not going to be able to get there, but it does reroute you on around, and you have to go through what I would say the older city center part of Erwin. And again, just complete geography change, if you ask me. And it's so beautiful. It's stunning and breathtaking. So imagine being in Erwin before all this. Just such a quiet, small town there, community built, and just somewhere to really be and relax, retire, something like that. So this is another area just right outside the main city center of Burnsville. And as you can see, just the devastation around. A nice little area over here. Probably had a lot of touristy people coming in and out. But you can see along this creek bank right here, just how it packed everything down with it. Just complete destruction of everything. And again, I've seen tornadoes and hurricanes, just demolish things, but this right here is destruction on a level that I can't even comprehend. And again, when you look at something like this, you think about the water and how powerful it is. And I have to say this, and I know I've said it so many times now, when you get a flash flood warning, you have to take this serious. This water came all the way up here on this road, just devastated everything over that church. This building washed everything out, man. People lost their lives here. Several people, and some people will never be found again. But I'll take you up again here in the drone. Let's show you some aerial footage of this and just look at the devastation. And I want y'all to take this in and understand that it is probably in equivalence to what you would think if a bomb had just went off and separated everything.
that's wrapping up my trip over here to North Carolina this round. I say I'd have one more round to go with the leftover donations that I've got coming in, and that will probably be the final trip I make over here. And honestly, I'll leave a piece of me behind in North Carolina. Just looking at all this and seeing it just breaks my heart. And you know, I find myself just wondering what these people will do long after the fact, you know, a year from now. And I may never see them again. You know, due to dropping off donations and stuff, I was able to meet these people. And it's horrible circumstances, right? You don't want to ever meet people in a situation like that. But if it taught me anything, it was that materialistic things and money mean nothing. What matters is what's in here, which is your heart. And that you've got your family and you're there for your neighbor. And these Appalachian people are just built different. They truly are. And it's remarkable just to see them. They don't care about anything except for the person next to them and their family. Not even as much as their self, as much as they really hold that community work to the core. And it was something very unique to see, and I'll forever just take with me. You know, and there's things I'll never get out of my head, obviously. I mean, there's things I've seen I didn't want to see. And, you know, we got Florida, the hurricane fixing to come up. And I know, you know, I'm gonna see this all over again. Devastation to the max. And it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating when you can't control it. And that's what's bothered me the most. I have no control over it. So what I can tell you guys is I hope that this video shows you a couple things, is that in a split moment your life can be turned upside down, and that, you know, we have to live for the now, not tomorrow, not the next day, and cherish the ones closest to you, right? Because a lot of people lost family members in this, and a lot of people will never see their loved one. They don't even get a closure with some of these, and it's unfortunate. That right there in itself breaks my heart, because they don't get the closure they deserve, and they'll forever be buried within the mountain. And you know, you're going to hear a lot of things. Let me say this, I want to point this out real quick, is all the bull crap you're hearing about, oh, FEMA's not letting you do this, and no, man, I got the Chimney Rock back cave. Every time I went somewhere I was able to get in. There's only very few times that it was just honestly to the point of where I think it was a safety issue, right? When you've got mountains collapsing out from underneath people and it's taking their lives, they have to look at this and be like, okay, is it worth you going back there helping maybe you losing your life? And I see that, right? I mean, a prime example of that is he's a younger man that was crossing, I guess, a bridge, and was on a mountainside, and the mountain collapsed out from underneath him, and it took his life, and he was there trying to help. And that right there, I mean, it wasn't needed. Here's the thing, had he not went back there and followed that sign, would he still be here? You know, that's the real question. I think what was happening is this was a disaster on a scale that most of anybody can't fathom, right? They can't understand that destruction like this would happen in, you know, the mountains. I mean, to be honest, of all places, you're talking about a legitimate hurricane. You know, days of rain before that. This was in all sense perfect storm, and it's unfortunate. This is something that has forever changed the geography, the layout. You know, Chimney Rock, Lake Lure, I mean, Dirty Dancing. I mean, there's so many things you can say about Lake Lure and Chimney Rock. It's just, Last of the Mohicans filmed Chimney Rock. So again, so much of that's gone, and all we got is the history and pictures from it, you know. And are they going to rebuild? Sure. Every town, every city deserves that rebuild. But reality states that mean, you're looking at 10, 15 years in order to even get it to a place where it looks normal. I mean, they're going to come in and backfill all these areas. There's a lot to do. But I hope y'all had, a general understanding of what it was I was trying to show you. I didn't want to show y'all people. I didn't want to show you, people at their worst, essentially, or unalived. What I can tell you is, absolutely, if you go in some of these places that are just really bad, it does, man. They are smells. And it's unfortunate, right? And, one of the things that I heard was, we can smell them, but we can't find them. And that right there is heartbreaking, all in all. So I want to say this in more of a light situation, right? Hug your loved ones close. Keep them close to you. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about the materialistic stuff. Don't do that. In time, it'll come. Just make sure you take care of what's yours. Take care of your neighbor. If something's ever needed, be there for them. This is a prime example of it. This is one of the biggest eye-openers to me of, like, community, right? Being there for your community. And there was people from all over. I've seen trucks from all over. But anyways, thanks for hanging out with me. Sorry I'm driving. But like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Until next time, peace.